Olá a todos, bem-vindos ao meu canal. Neste vídeo quero falar sobre o que recursos eu uso para aprender português europeu. So I wanted to make this video to explain what things I use to learn European Portuguese, and only two of them are actually grammar books. Most of them are just stuff that I found on the internet. So one of the challenges of people who want to learn how to speak European Portuguese is finding the content to actually listen and watch and read, because most of the things are in Brazilian Portuguese. And after 6 months of trying to acquire this language, I think the things that I've found would be good for people who would want to learn the European variety. I am telling you how difficult it is to find content in European Portuguese, because everything is in Brazilian Portuguese. Even the shows on Netflix, even the videos on YouTube are mostly, I think 99.9% in Brazilian Portuguese. So I really took my time in trying to find these resources, and I hope for whoever wants to study or learn European Portuguese, they would be able to use these resources right away. So first would be the YouTube channel, Portuguese with Leo. Most of all of his videos are in European Portuguese 100%, so you could just turn on the subtitles either in Portuguese or in English to understand what he's saying. But a huge chunk of my content comes from his channel. There's another channel called Talk the Streets that she speaks a lot of English for those who would like to learn Portuguese with, if you don't mind speaking, the person teaching you speaking in English, then that's okay. But I personally like Portuguese with Leo more because he speaks 100% in Portuguese, and that way I'm able to immerse myself in the language, because that's how I was taught in Mandarin and Filipino in school, and even English. But I actually find it so weird because English is the only language that they had to teach us subject verb agreement and stuff like that. The other two languages were all based on stories. I don't even remember if we had subject verb agreement for Filipino, but I just remember that every exam would be based on one story that would be taught to us maybe at the start of the week. So it would be an interesting story, most of the time children's stories. And for Mandarin, it's always Chinese history and some or poems, and by Chinese, like Confucianist poems. And we would learn what the words mean, and we would be given exams on that. So basically, it's understanding the meaning behind these characters in Mandarin and the content for Filipino. So that's the process that I like to use in learning of all of my other foreign languages, starting with Portuguese. So this is why I jumped into intermediate content. And anyway, I have a dictionary. No one's going to be testing me after it. So I just enjoy the process of learning. So anyway, going back to the resources, is those two channels. And now when it comes to books, I had to find books in European Portuguese, and so far the only book, or the two books that I found, is the Harry Potter series. You have to look for the European version. It's best to look at the publishing house, because you would see if it's in Brazil, BR, or PT, Portugal. And that's the same with the other book, O Príncipezinho, The Little Prince. O Príncipezinho is the Portuguese version, and the Brazilian version is the O Pequeno Príncipe. So if you want to learn the sentence structure of Portugal, you could check the O Principezinho version. Then this is, well, I also like the books of Paulo Coelho. I've read 4 or 3 of his books in English years ago. The Alchemist, The Pilgrimage, and 11 Minutes. So that's 3. Those are 3 books that I've read in English. And I also read The Fifth Mountain, but I can't quite remember what it was about. So anyway, for those 3 books, I bought them in Portuguese, but of course it's in Brazilian Portuguese. So what I did with those books is picked up words instead of grammatical structures to learn vocabulary, basically. And so what I did is, you don't have to do this, but I personally do it because I like using the language and just to immerse myself in it. So because the application I use, which is Link, allows you to import different lessons online, and from there, when you click the word that you don't know, it would come out and it would be saved to your word list. So I do that for these books, but unfortunately I can't seem to be able to import the entire book into Link. So what I do is additional step, but I think it also helps me since I'm not fluent in the language. What I do is take a chapter, take a page, I would type it down into the importer, and I would save it as a lesson. It helps my brain get used to the patterns, because at the same time as I'm typing it down, I'm also reading it, and it's just helping my brain soak information. So I don't mind retyping stuff. I also found an interesting website, which is National Geographic Portugal. I will put a link below, and I'm not really into like news a lot because most of the time it's political or whatever, and I'm not too interested in politics. But for National Geographic, there's articles on travel, science, animals, and all the interesting sciencey stuff that I find interesting. So I have imported a lot of articles from National Geographic Portugal, and I enjoy reading those on Link as well. So I'm still looking for different novels that are written by Portuguese writers, Portuguese authors. So hopefully I'll be able to find some of them later on, because that's the only way I could improve in this language or any language. So I just always remember why I'm so comfortable in English, even if not everybody speaks English outside from my family, right? Here, it's because of all the content that I've been absorbing since I was a child. So books in English, Harry Potter. Right now for junk that I read is anything written by Rick Riordan. I hope this video helps anyone who wants to learn, listen, and absorb European Portuguese. If anyone has any other resource that they could give to me, please put them in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Ciao!